Okay guys, we are going to take a look at argumentative essays at a middle school or let's say upper elementary level. And we're going to take a look at the difference between maybe an essay that is just starting to become great and an essay that is on its way to being great. So we're going to look at 4 different essays and we're going to see how they compare and some of the different features that they have in common. So the very first essay, we're going to call this emerging. So it's the very first attempt at an essay that is trying to make an argument. And so the topic is, which are better, dogs or cats? So let's start with this essay. So dogs are better than cats because of like so many reasons. Dogs can do so many tricks and they are so cute. Dogs like to sit on you and chase stuff and are basically your best friend. You always have like a bodyguard at home when you have a dog because they can bark at bad guys and don't let bad guys in your house. Dogs are also so good at running and walking and jogging and other stuff. So basically they're like super active. And if you have a dog, then you're going to be out and about with the dog. And also, if you're out and about with your dog, then you will probably talk to people, but not if they're on their phones. But you might talk to people who are not on their phones, which is probably better that way. So if you have a dog and you have to take it on a walk, then you might talk to people, which is way better than not talking to people. So yeah, like I said before, dogs are way better than cats. So what worked and what did not work? First thing that really worked nicely is it was on topic. We had a number of examples in here. I think the stuff that didn't work is we didn't have a lot of organization. And by a lot, I don't think we actually had any. We didn't really have a lot of flow from idea to idea. It was just kind of like a big conversation in which somebody was kind of just sort of shouting ideas at us. So let's take a look at the next one. So this one we're going to give developing, and already, hopefully you can see this one, even if it's not organized yet, we haven't even read it yet, but even if we don't read it yet, it looks more organized than this one that is emerging, right? This one here it looks like chunks of information, and hopefully we'll find out if those chunks are organized. But already it even looks more like an essay. So let's read. So, which are better, dogs or cats? Dogs are better than cats for a million reasons. Dogs can do tricks, and it's easier to teach a dog how to do tricks than to teach a cat how to do tricks. Tricks are fun, and it's a special way to bond with a dog when they can do tricks. Some tricks might be fetch, roll over, lie down, and other stuff like that. Another thing that makes dogs better than cats is how cats ignore you and dogs don't. Cats are so cranky and they can be standoffish, but dogs aren't like that. Dogs are always so happy when they see you and they wag their tail to let you know how happy they are to see you. Dogs are good at protection. They keep you safe and keep your house safe. When you're out walking, the dog will keep you safe. Maybe not so much if you have a little dog, but probably if you have a bigger dog. No one will mess with you when you're out and about walking if you have a dog. It's also good too because when you have a dog and you have to walk the dog, you get to talk to people, and that's a good thing too. So dogs protect you, but because you walk them, they help you talk to people as you do exercise. In conclusion, dogs are better than cats because of tricks, happiness, and protection. So in this essay, we're just going to call this one developing. It's on its way. There's a lot of really good things so far. We have organization, we have an introduction, we have a conclusion, we have examples, we've got a little bit more flow where one idea kind of flows into the next one. It kind of, think of like organization in a way that sounds stylistic. Some of the things that don't work is we have some spelling mistakes, we have some grammar mistakes in here. The presentation, like it looks like an essay, but it still sounds like a conversation. It doesn't sound like an elevated piece of writing that is part of a more formal register. We could also do a better job at providing more convincing arguments, or maybe even just having better examples or better ways of proving that our arguments are correct. So it's a really good beginning. It's just not completely there yet. All right, this next one, we're going to call this one Proficient. So this is an essay that I think anyone in a middle school or upper elementary should be really proud to have. It's not blowing any minds here, but it is definitely on its way to becoming a really good essay. So, which are better, dogs or cats? This essay is going to talk about how dogs are better than cats. I'm going to talk about how dogs are better at trainability, loyalty, and a safe and active lifestyle. First things first, dogs are really easy to train. Cats are not. If you spend enough time and have enough patience, you can train a dog to do almost any reasonable trick, no matter what kind of dog it is. You can train a dog to sit, stay, roll over, etc. This is helpful because it is fun, and also because dogs can be useful. Dogs can be trained as drug-sniffing dogs. They can help people with disabilities, and they are guide dogs. Cats are not used for these purposes. This makes cats basically useless. Enjoyable, but useless. Second, dogs are incredibly loyal. You do not have to train a dog to be loyal. You cannot train a cat to be loyal. Dogs are born loyal. If you are drowning, your dog will try to save you. If you are hiking and a bear crosses your path, your dog will try to save you. If you go to work or school, your dog will miss you all day. If you go away for a weekend, your dog will bounce around and be so happy to see you when you get back. Cats are not like this. Cats are dismissive and don't really care what you think. Dogs love you unconditionally. Third, dogs are great at encouraging a safe and active lifestyle. Dogs need to be walked, but whatever, and enjoy exercise. People who own dogs do a lot of walking and hiking and generally have to go outdoors more. When people are walking their dogs, they get exercise too. Cats don't need to be walked, so cat owners are not required to walk every day. Because dogs need to be walked, their dog owners not only get exercise, but also get socialized. Every time you walk your dog, you pass people along the way, and sometimes stop and talk to these people. This means that you are more likely to make new friends and know your community if you own a dog instead of a cat. In conclusion, dogs are better to own than cats because they're useful, will love you forever, and encourage an active lifestyle. Cats have no purpose besides companionship. They disregard their owners and encourage a more sedentary lifestyle. So, some of the things that worked in this essay is we have some really nice organization. We've got our ideas kind of chunked into sections here. Another thing that we have are arguments that flow really well one into another one. Let's say register, the way in which it's written is a little bit more formal, a little bit less like a conversation. It's not written impressively, but it's written correctly, other than that one little mistake we had there. The writer of this essay, they want to take us on a little journey through their argument, and they're trying to prove how their arguments are correct. And it feels as though even if you don't agree with the arguments, which is likely, there's some of you cat people out there, that you can at least understand where they're coming from and why. Their arguments make sense, the arguments are logical, the arguments are valid, and they're presented in a way that is easy to follow. So all of that makes for a pretty manageable essay here. Let's take a look at how this one, though, compares to the last one. This one we call extending. So let me just zoom out a bit more so you can see it's definitely a lot longer. And longer doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be more stuff in it, but there's a chance, a likelihood that there's going to be more quality in it if there is at least a little bit more quantity. So, which are better, dogs or cats? Dogs are man's best friend. They love unconditionally and display the happiest dispositions and be counted on through thick and thin. Andy Rooney once stated, "The average dog is a nicer person than the average person." Cats do not usually share this type of warm acknowledgement and familiar understanding. While dogs are known to be fun, happy, lovable, and loyal, cats are known to be dismissive, indifferent, and detached. When comparing felines to canines, dogs are by far the superior pet. We will attempt to explore this further by looking at 3 areas in which dogs outperform in comparison to cats: trainability, loyalty, and contributing to a safe and active lifestyle. Trainability is a feature of canine behavior that makes dogs an excellent choice of pet in comparison to cats. With a relatively minimal amount of training, dogs can learn new behaviors, tricks, and tasks that are not only fun, but sometimes useful or even essential. As a family companion, dogs can be trained to perform fun tricks and learn how to behave better. As a service animal, dogs perform essential functions in our community that benefit humanity. Many dogs are trained as service dogs and perform tasks relating to law enforcement and pest control. Some dogs are used to help people with visual or physical impairments and are regularly used by people suffering from epilepsy, helping to warn their owners of imminent seizures. Some dogs are even trained to smell out cancer cells and help in early oncology diagnoses. The trainability of a dog is far superior to the trainability of a cat, rendering this animal far more useful and essential. A pet that can be trained encourages more interaction and bonding. The trainability of the dog is perhaps related to its intrinsic and inherent need to impress their owner, a driven instinct of determination and loyalty. A characteristic that has defined and characterized the dog for centuries is its loyalty. Dogs ask nothing of their owners but give everything in return. Dogs are always happy to see their owners when they greet each other at the end of the workday. Dogs are known for protecting their owners when confronted with danger and trying to save their owners from perilous situations. Dogs have unwavering loyalty and allegiance. A dog's loyalty will impel them to bark at strangers passing by the house in an attempt to protect their family. Dogs will come between intruders and their family to keep their owners safe. Cats are not known for their protective abilities. In fact, cats are known for being quite the opposite: aloof, independent, and dismissive. There have been countless stories over the years of dogs who waited days, months, and even years by their owners who perish while hiking. A famous example of dog loyalty is Hachiko, the dog who waited for years at the Japanese train station for his deceased owner to return from work. This loyalty is a characteristic that is not shared by cats, who seem to merely tolerate humans instead of trying to appease and love them. This fierce loyalty creates a bond that strengthens the relationship between man and his best friend, that is mutually beneficial. Canine loyalty often translates into emotional, physical, and social betterment for both dogs and their owners. Dogs encourage a lifestyle that benefits the entire household. Dogs require daily walks and exercise, while cats might seem like the preferred pet because they're able to go to the washroom in a tiny box inside the house, making them slightly more independent. The dog is actually the superior pet because of its exercise requirements. In this case, the canine need translates into human improvement. Although dogs are often trained to go to the washroom indoors on a pet mat inside the house or on an apartment balcony, it is their need for daily exercise which guides their human counterparts outdoors. Dogs benefit immensely from daily walks. When owners take their pets for a walk, the owners end up benefiting physically and emotionally as well. They are exposed to more fresh air, improved circulation, and stress reduction. In addition, many dog walkers benefit from the social interaction that occurs when they run into other dog walkers who are out at the same time. Cat owners do not enjoy any of these benefits while they stay indoors with their felines. Dogs have a tremendously positive impact on their humans' lifestyles, while cats only seem to offer minimal benefit. Although cats and dogs are both popular household pets across the nation, the superiority of the dog is evident. Dogs are eagerly and easily trainable, making them useful, entertaining, and essential. Their devotion and loyalty provide emotional support and protection for their owners. Finally, dogs promote an active and healthy lifestyle that create a symbiotic relationship between the dog and its owner. While cats provide a companionship and are able to function more independently, it is the deep bond created between man and his best friend that render the canine the champion domesticated animal. So, some of the things that are really successful about this essay that differ from the last essay are two things. Number one, the specific vocabulary being used. In the last essay, most of the ideas were already mentioned. Like, the ideas that I used in this one were hardly any different from the ideas used in the other one. The vocabulary that is used in this essay is more specific and it's more elaborate. The ideas are the same between this essay and the Proficient essay, but because this one is a little bit more precise, it sounds more impressive. Another thing that we've done really well, I think, in this essay is explaining the examples better and giving maybe a little bit more specific examples. So in the last essay, when we talked about trainability, we just said that dogs were more trainable and that they can help out, and maybe we gave one or two slight examples. But in this one, we gave very specific examples about how dogs can be trained. And for example, when we mentioned like early oncology diagnoses and law enforcement and pest control, we were very specific again with our terminology and our examples. But again, the general outline was, I don't believe, much different than the last essay. It still had 5 paragraphs, the intro, the 3 bodies, and the conclusion. It was simply the difference between this one and the last one really can be summed up with the vocabulary is more impressive, and the examples are more elaborate and specific. And as a result, because we have slightly better vocabulary, the flow is gonna sound better because it's gonna sound more connected. Instead of more simplistic words describing everything, the specific nature of the vocabulary is going to help us connect one idea to the next. Instead of just sounding like an elementary student, we're going to maybe sound like an upper elementary student, or even middle school or even early high school, when we can move on to that sort of next level. So hopefully you guys can see the difference now between what a beginning argumentative essay and a more polished argumentative essay might look like for this level. All right, thank you.